Alright, what is good, guys? It's a new week, it's Monday. I'm feeling good, had a good sleep, feeling refreshed. Just want to give an update. I did break my rules with my funded next account. The account was so close to a payout, literally one more winning day, and we would have got there. And now I'm $250 away from liquidating this account. We've had it for a few days. I'll try to bring up the dashboard actually now. So here's our dashboard. We have the minimum equity at 25,000. We're sitting with 249.60 as our profit right now after changing my max loss limit from 350 to 600 or something. I traded before 9:30 as well, before open, wicked me out, and then went exactly to TP. This silly from my part, trying to rush the process. Need to step back. Friday was good, grateful for that. So if you pull up the calendar, we had the loss the previous day where I broke my rules, came back for 421.70, literally just following the same plan. We did trade a little bit later than usual, but again, just waiting till post that 9:45 time and taking our trade. I didn't log these trades. I want to get more consistent. We can see logging my trades. Even with these, I can see setups I've logged. Took 2 trades, but I logged one. This day with 8 trades, only 5 setups logged. This is my only consistent day. 1 setup still not logged here. So I think this is highlighting the discipline side of myself that I really need to work on. Here's where we're at into this challenge. We're about 31%. $733, our max loss limit. I don't think it's negative 1,000. We have to pull up the chart here. But we're trying to hit 2.3, I think, now. Because again, tried to rush the process, took an $800 winning day, more than the daily base hits. If you go over this daily base hit, it adds on to the target that you got to get towards the end. Max loss limit is negative 266. If we hit that, we're liquidated. We got about $1,000 to go. Because it's Monday, we had such a crazy move last week. Like this was Friday. We did manage to catch this move, obviously, on the top step accounts. Rather than rushing in and activating all accounts all at once, I'm actually probably going to take these accounts one day at a time, activate them as we're moving, and continue to copy trade one by one. That way it's going to teach me to stop rushing the process. Calm down, get the process down pat, make that automatic, and it's going to give me 5 chances now. So we've got these 5 accounts all sitting at 1,500. We've obviously got this as our profit target to hit for the next day. I'm going to do some risk parameter stuff now. At 850, we're going to liquidate and block, because this is the same way that I want to trade once we're actually funded. And then the max loss limit, we're going to do 350. Again, we're only working with 1 account for the time being. I'm going to lock myself out of these other accounts so I don't get tempted. So I'm just forcing myself. Don't try and do things by willpower. Like it never will work, especially once there's emotion involved. It's very easy for me right now before it's the start of the day. I've just woken up, I've just gone to the gym, had a good sleep. I'm in a good mindset to be like, this is my plan. As Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. Once you take that first losing trade, or you get wicked out, or something that you cannot control happens, and that emotion starts flaring up, all of a sudden, everything that you planned is worthless. I think having these things in place so that no matter the emotion, you're taking the emotion out of what you're doing. I think that's super important. This is what we're looking at today. 850 for the profit target, 350 liquidating and blocking. I'm going to sync this up to our trade syncer as well. Taking 1 trade, I'm noticing when I'm taking multiple trades throughout the day, I'm diminishing my staying power. Having 1 good trade across all accounts is beneficial, so I'm going to set that up now. Here's our trade syncer account. We've got the futures desk account, a leading account. Got the funded next account with obviously the 250 worth of drawdown, the other futures desk, and 1 top step account. The plan is to grow this, take base hits, and multiply that with multiple accounts rather than going for big home runs. This is what we're rocking with for today then. We're going to have a liquidation and blocking at maybe 300, to be honest, rather than taking the full 4, going at 125 risk. Actually, we'll go 375. So there's 3 trades essentially that we're going to allow ourselves with the risk. Obviously 2 trades is going to blow our funded next account, so just got to be mindful. If we hit a winning day, we're back on track. Trust the process, trust God. My daily strategy is to read my Bible, Proverbs, pray, and meditate for 5 minutes. So this is going to work out nicely. It's 10:15, so we're going to have our 15-minute candle closing. We've obviously got to wait for that first 5-minute closure. So it will give me enough time to do the meditation for the 5 minutes. That's the soonest I can get into a trade at 10:20 or 20 minutes post, whenever the time frame is. So it works out really nice, but I just wanted to share today's verse. It's the last verse of Proverbs 25. Verse 28, a person without self-control is like a city with broken down walls. I think that's so relevant to trading. We're trying to build empires when we're doing this thing, not just for ourselves, but for the people around us. And if we don't have self-control, it's like our entire empire is open to being infiltrated by many different things. So yeah, I think just recognizing that, asking God for me, wherever that is for you, what you believe in for strength to have self-control is super important. So we've had our 15-minute candle. Let's outline what we're looking for today. This is beautiful. Ideally what I'm looking for, I'm going to clear all the drawings from last week, mark our 15-minute high, some blue, and our 15-minute low right here. Now we literally just wait for the first 5-minute closure, either side of this, and we're good to go. So I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes, check back in a bit. Alright, 5 minutes later, meditation's done. No closure above or below yet. So we're literally just chilling. We got nothing to do right now. I love this strategy, man. Just takes so much of the guesswork out of it. And yeah, we can just take it easy. The reason I'm trading this early on a Monday, I like trading at 7 a.m. New York time. Mondays and Fridays, depending on Thursday's price action, can lead to trend days. So Monday usually is either going to chop and we're just going to build liquidity buy side and sell side, or we'll usually just trend. And usually what I've noticed is that if we have a large Friday, Monday tends to be a trending day. If there's obviously news that occurs over the weekend, expect that price is just going to run in one direction. We haven't really had any news over the weekend that I can see. I haven't really been checking, to be honest. I had a chill Sunday, focused on the Sabbath, to be fair. Like just going to church, being around community. So it's actually really refreshing. But yeah, we'll wait and see, as we were saying, to see if we get that trend day today. Going to try and move stops to break even probably a bit sooner than what I have been doing. So many trades we've been in profit and just watch it come back on us, have taken losses now. Recognizing that break even is still a win. On a psychological level, I've been realizing I have a tendency for perfection. A lot of ethnic people are probably similar. If your parents, like when you got good grades, they were happy with you, and when you got bad grades, they were like really upset with you. I've realized that actually transpires into trading as well. Like even in sport for me, if I played well in soccer, I used to play growing up, or athletics, like my dad would be super stoked. We'd get like gifts and like Maccas on the way home, like takeout. If you played bad, you got the silent treatment and you were made to feel like, man, what am I doing? And that still carries with me today until I realize I've been speaking to a psychologist and a counselor as well. That has been helping tremendously just in mindset and how I'm viewing myself and how I'm viewing the world. And so I think that's going to help with trading, because I've noticed I blow accounts in one day. I have this perfectionist tendency. If it's not green, then you've failed. That's something I've internalized since I was a kid. It's okay to take losses. It's okay to not be 100% all the time. Just make sure that you're recognizing what went wrong and try and fix that and keep a positive attitude. That's so important. So yeah, hopefully that's encouraging for people that might have grown up with the same upbringing that I did. And yeah, maybe it's affecting you in the charts as well. But let's wait and see. We've got about 15 seconds for this 5-minute candle. I'd want a strong close as well, not like a really shallow close. I've noticed those shallow closes can be pretty misleading. This is looking okay. I'm going to jump straight in. Going for the 3 micros. I really like our stop here. We've got 1, 2, 3. Our stop should ideally be at this candle, but because we don't have much risk afforded for us today, I'm going to leave it right here. Our TP is about halfway through the candle that we had last week, Friday. We're in the trade. I really don't need to do too much now. I'm going to try and make this process as passive as possible. I'm just going to draw the risk to reward out, just so we can see when we are adjusting to break even. So I'll leave that all. Just making sure we've copied this trade across so it doesn't look like we have. That's a bit annoying. We're just going to have to manually enter it on all accounts, making sure it's MNQ. Stop about that 125 level. Stops are in place for all positions. Annoying doing this manually, but it is what it is. Buy stop here. Where's TP? 427.5. Zoom out a little bit. 427.5. About here. Just gonna buy this. Now we're looking to potentially partial into this position. We're looking for a closure below here, make this yellow, more profit potentially. Looking for closure below this liquidity to to validate, looking for entry. If we get a 5-minute closure below this line, we're going to wait to see if there's an FEG that we can pull back to. Ideally, we're looking for an OTE as well using ICT. If we can extend a fib, let's assume we close here and then we look for a pullback. Ideally, we're looking for an entry at that 62% or close to our entry as possible. The lower this is, it's going to pull our entry further down and our drawdown is going to be further. But if we can essentially just add 2 more positions where we're already at, happy days. Ideally, we've got this yellow line in place. We'll just look at the risk to reward. Aiming for an 8R reward at 4R, we reduce risk to 50%. Which is approximately 55. So as close to 55 as we can. I'm just going to put an alert on my trading view. I have US 100. I don't know why, for whatever reason, I've purchased the extended package so that you can get MNQ and whatever, the CME package, but it's showing delayed. So I'm using US 100 as it shows essentially the same chart, but obviously the values are going to be different. So I just need to, what I do is find like a point. Here we are. It's just below this liquidity, and this isn't a bad spot to come back to the charts. We could wick and then continue to run up. I'm going to set an alert on a 5-minute chart at this swing low and at the top of this 5-minute candle to say stop loss hit. That way we can go about our day. Like, this is the good thing about trading on the Mondays as well, especially if you're aiming for a trend day. More than likely, if we are correct here, this thing is going to just continue flooring for the rest of the day, right up until New York session in the evening. With less activity during Asia, I'm not expecting crazy movement so far. Maybe until London where we get a bit of a push, who knows. So there's not really much point in me sitting at the charts all day. I'm going to start moving my trade, look for more trades. I'm probably going to add in early off some 3-minute move, which, yeah, I've just noticed in the past does not really help me. I've got everything where it needs to be. I'm just double checking. This is all set. The main thing is the TP and the stop losses. Everything else is secondary. I'll set the alert, so we're just below here. So this is going to ping me on my phone. Alert name, adjust, to adjust stops. Depending on how we react here, so if we start ripping, I'm just going to move stops to break, even though it's a little bit lower than that 4R. I've noticed like it's key levels where price is going to really react. It's not the fact I've got 4R in place that price is going to start doing what it needs to do. It's key levels and liquidity resting here. Prepare to adjust stops if large volume and movement is observed. If you see large volume and movement, go straight to break even. If it comes back, even if it's filling, continue dropping. I've just got to remind myself break even is still a win. I need to be green for a day to be good. That's still a win. So I'm gonna have this here, and then we're obviously gonna put our alert just in here at the top of this 5-minute candle to say stop loss hit. Wait for 7 a.m. for next trade. Actually, we're gonna go 4 a.m. for next trade. We've got our alerts, everything's in place, we're chilling. We don't need to do a thing now. So I will catch you guys whenever one of my alerts get hit, and we'll go from there. Alright, we are back for a check-in. I've made myself some eggs, buttered toast, cleaned the kitchen, and we're still in the trade. And another tip that I would definitely recommend is using like TradingView or a platform where you can't see the P&L to monitor your trades when you're in them. A lot of the times, especially if you're trading with a big size, seeing the numbers can definitely manipulate you to deviate from the plan that you've set out already for yourself. It's nice, good timing that we're approaching the hourly close here. We've had a bearish close after wicking out some of these highs, which is good. Ideally, we aim for this low at a bare minimum. Potentially we could spike up depending on the reaction, but we've got a long way to fill here. Not too worried, going to wait for the alerts. I'm going to get into editing some of the videos to get online for YouTube now. And yeah, we just check in once we get the pings. Alright guys, we are back. We have achieved our market structure shift on a 5-minute. We will close below this yellow line. I'm just going to mark out where OTE would be for this move. Assuming we're going to start retracing now a little. OTE is pretty much at our entry. There is a tiny volume imbalance on a 5-minute here, plus a 5-minute SIBI resting above that level at 62. Lots of confluences resting here if this is our low. If we start spilling lower from here, then obviously everything's going to change. And if we're getting to the point where it's like at the 0.78 retracement, very unlikely that it's going to just pause there and then Ideally, we'd want it to start pushing back up now, fill this level and continue down. But even if it doesn't, we're aiming for lower pricing. Let's be grateful. If we jump in now, our entry is squashed. We just got to be patient. Ideally, I just want to flick to the higher time frames as well. Yeah, so there's a 30-minute volume imbalance just below the 50 level now. Apologies, it wasn't a 62% retracement, it's just 50% here. I've changed my colors around, so I modeled it a bit. We could expect this to go a bit further. Ideally, we want that 62% as our retracement level. And if that can fall in line with that volume imbalance that we're seeing on the 5, the 15, and the 30, like around this level right here. So maybe price reaches down to this point here before bouncing back up. If that's the case, maybe put our pyramid entry spot right there. Let's not speculate. All that we can do now is recognize that we can actually add into our position. We've had a market structure shift. We've closed below this low, so that does confirm more than likely we're going to continue spilling lower. So again, it's just a patience thing now, and we'll check in. Alright, we are back probably I think an hour later or so. Still trending down. Nice to see that closure below this level. This is on the top step account. Apologies. Shifting back to the futures desk, we have definitely closed below this low. Drawn the fib from this level. Ideally, the fib should be drawn once we start breaking old highs, because that's when we're pushing back up. For now, we could just come up here and continue spilling lower. Once we get above this high, that's confirmation that it should be where we're putting our Fibonacci for the low. And then we've just got 50%. Ideally 50% is where we're at. Our entry is just a little bit higher here. There is the 62% level, which is a little bit higher than what we have here. But just shifting into some other time frames, we do have this 15-minute, which would indicate the 62% resting about here. But even on the 50, we have our gap here, the volume imbalance resting just above. And on the 30-minute, this volume imbalance does seem like a magnet where it will draw price to that region. Just below the 50% is where we'd be looking to see if price wants to come back up. If not, if we just tap up into here and continue spilling lower, it is what it is. But we're getting close to reducing our stop here. We're going to take it down to this swing high, just in case this is at the bottom of our move and we start ripping up. Rather than focusing on the TP, this is the last thing on my mind. It's the loss I'm really trying to work on. If we minimize this and it runs and hits this, we're making money consistently over time. That's the plan for now. And again, like, I'm trying not to be so, once it hits this yellow line, that is the only time that we can adjust our risk. No, we can't be too rigid in the market. It's got to be adaptable and flexible with the market. We'll check in and go from there. Looks like because we did invert this SIBI here after seeing a nice rejection candle. Trying to see the volume. Most volume within the last, I don't know, what's that, 2 hours in this candle right here. So that does indicate that more than likely we're going to start pushing up. Got our fib ready, 50% just under this line. I'm going to check the high time frames. I do like this volume imbalance. Let's put this part, this little gap here. We'll take it at 50% in case we don't have the legs to get up there. It's close enough to our entry, so it's not going to bring our entry down too much. We've obviously got less size here. Say we had 4 or 5 micros and we've already got 3 in, it's going to pull it down lower. But let's say we entered 1 micro or 2, it's going to reduce the average size that we have into the position. So I've put this already on all the accounts at a similar level. What's this? 564. For this account, I'm just going to make this 1 micro because we haven't got much room. So I'm just going to give it at 60 with 1 micro looking to partial into this position. I'm just going to adjust my stops manually. Top step in the futures desk will automatically adjust, but 3558, we're going to change this to 3 as our stop, because even if we're like, we change it now to get there, we'd have to go past our entry. That's the update for now. I'm just going to let the trade do what it needs to do. Peace. Alright guys, what is good? I've just woken up from a nap. Feeling good today. It's been a good day, super productive. Just had a nap, set a timer for 1 hour and 15. So I'm not in my deep REM sleep. So I've woken up now and I'm not too groggy, which is alright. But yeah, we did get tapped into our 4R level of just being ready to adjust stops. Took this low down in here, went a little bit lower, and again, we haven't gone all the way to our 50% mark, but we did get tapped for our alert to come and adjust stops. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move everything to break even here. Break even on our entry just here. Go a little bit lower just to account for fees and things like that. Break even here too, just below this level. That's fine. This is the plan, sticking to the process, not deviating from the plan and the rules. I've got all the partials in place if you want to come run up and tap into them. We've taken out some liquidity, pullback time. It's 12 o'clock now, so I'll check where Asia is. Unfortunately, this is the wrong timing. I'm going to work on some other business stuff at the moment. I'm just going to monitor what is happening here on my phone, and if we get a 5 minute closure back below this low, I'm going to assume that VWAP is the highest point that we've respected. So if we get a closure below here, we're going to add in our 2 micros, adjust stops to a bit more in profit. This is obviously going to move down as well, and then we will go from there. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to change the TPs on all accounts with enough reason to fill this gap, especially if we add a few more. I am actually just going to go straight away for the 1,500, the 1,515 on this account. We'll see if we get tapped in. For the futures desk, I'm just going to go to what our daily base hit needs to be. So what is that? 220 is our daily base target, which we've already hit. So that's okay. We'll go 225 today. Just because we're only using 5 micros here, we should be okay. Looks like we are pushing away from VWAP here already. But I just want to see that closure below this low, especially because there's a BC resting here. I think we flipped crazily. So that's the 220 on this side. And then for our target here, I don't want the highest profit day to be over this amount. So the 850 still works. So just making sure we're not too high over this. Otherwise, our required target for hitting a payout extends as well. We've got our parameters set on this. If we get to that point, it's going to automatically lock me out, which is great. TradeSync isn't working. It's signed me out now. I think that's a benefit. We can adjust the TPs for where each account needs to be. I was going to do the 850 on this, which is obviously going to boost that target a little bit more. Yeah, it is what it is. Let's just let the trade do what the trade wants to do. Okay, we have a very special visitor with us today now. Just come back to the charts. We are somehow still in our positions here. I realized it should have been -4, not -2, but this works out okay. We've taken some profit with the 2 positions. Everything is a little bit short. We're still in on top step. I'll keep it short. We hit our point that we obviously had in mind. Looks like we've had a pretty nice reaction away from that 50% level. 62 is resting just here, so I'm actually just going to adjust our stops to be a little bit higher at 23575.75. We're going to add in our original position here with the 4, have our stop loss here, expecting 3 micros for TP at that original point, but obviously if we want to shoot a little bit lower, we'll take that, and then just adjusting the stop to here as well on this position. That's it for now. The trade is having a nice reaction. We've got 220 on our position, 230, around about 240. One's exploring. You can see her in the background. But all in all, position looks good for all accounts here. Got our 1,500, be aiming for here. More than likely, I think New York is going to be what spills us to this position here. So we just have to wait and be patient. It's looking positive. We're not taking out these highs. Keep everything as is for the time being, and I'll check in with you guys soon. It's been, as I expected, an all-day trade. You can obviously see the time now, and once we got in, been in this trade for about 6 hours now. So yeah, just let it do what it needs to do. Quick update, looking like a really nice reaction. Hopefully hitting TP on the futures desk account. Looking really positive here. Tradeovate, same thing on the account here. And then on the top step account, looking pretty positive too. Ideally, we're wanting to get through all of this. I'm just going to flag this as a sticking point. As long as we close below this green line on a 5-minute chart, we should be okay for downward pricing. If we get to that point, I'll have alerts to put our stops to break even. Alright, we just hit our daily profit target. This is why I got a little bit extra, because obviously the fill minus fees and whatnot. So that's perfect, just under that 220 mark that we're looking for, which is brilliant. I'll log my trades in here. 1 trade, that's it. I love days like this. You're working the least and maximizing output. Check the other charts, getting nice movement to the downside on both accounts here. So yeah, looking really positive ahead of London Open. 3 o'clock, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we just get some spillage to the downside. But for now, one of our accounts is sorted. Very grateful for log and tag all our trades in here. We're going to walk away with something at least ahead of New York Open, hopefully. So we've got our 4. This is why I like copy trading. Having to do this manually can be a pain. I'm just trying to see where our stop position should be, darling. Hold up. Yeah. Everything's a game, huh? What you doing? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just thinking where would be a decent spot for stops here. We're probably just going to go right here, break even. Just above. Even if we come up to here, we wouldn't want to be going much higher. If we do, we're still going to walk away with a little profit. I think that's going to do me for this account today. It's going to run with a small profit. Even if we walk away with $25, that's 10% of our account. Stop rushing the process and recognize that's perfectly fine. 10% gain on a day is astronomical. All in all, looking very decent. The plan is going as expected. We'll check our trading view charts. Really looking to hopefully fill in this gap we left from Friday. We might only get halfway. It is a massive inversion candle, but we have respected this hourly CB. We tried a few times, didn't get over it on the Friday. We just went on a walk, left the trade as is. 4 o'clock just open now. We're looking for the 15-minute candle here, which we can see is here. I'm just going to mark the high and low as usual. We've got the low here. Looks like we are spilling for this. You okay? Mark the high here. This is one of the beautiful parts of trading. I can still be a dad to the little one, still be making money in the markets. At least, hey, $50 we've made today. And I've been able to stay with my daughter the whole time. That's a blessing. Just trying to be grateful for the small things. We're not needing thousands of dollars of profit like all these YouTubers to be happy. So here we are. Trade of 8 looking really nice. We've doubled what we had for drawdown today, which is... Actually, no, we haven't. What am I saying? We have gone 1-to-1. We've made 100% of the account today, which is phenomenal. I'm probably going to adjust my stops here. Don't want to be giving a lot of this back, even if we do want to come up here and then continue lower. I think this is a good spot for our stop. Just above this high. Might put it just a little bit higher. In case we want to wick and continue ES, looking like we're getting a bit of movement to the downside as well. So these two markets usually correlate quite well with each other. When they diverge, obviously ICT, SMT, really good setups to utilize as well there. But with ES continuing to look a little bit lower here, gives me a bit more confidence that we are going to continue spilling. But we just got to wait for this 5-minute candle. We've got our 15-minute range at 4. If I was trading this normally, this is what I'd do as well. So I'd be looking to potentially add into this position. A bit annoying that we did lock ourselves out on all these other accounts. Little mama's going hard in the paint. But yeah, if we had another account, we probably would have taken the trade short lower as well at this 4 o'clock, just seeing what happens. We'll let the trade do what it's doing and check back in. 9 hours later, we are back. Position is still flooring to the downside. This was that 15-minute range we were talking about, still pushing below. It didn't close above. Looking on a 1 minute. If I was watching these charts, I'd think of inverted. Closing near the highs, likely going to rip through, but obviously wasn't the case. So I'm going to adjust stops to this high here. So walking away with $300 on the day minimum, which is phenomenal. It's beautiful when trades like this work out. If it does occur like that, stop myself out. That is what I need to work on now. I know my weaknesses, and that's okay. My mentality would be, I've got $300 to work with. That's what I'm going to play with for today. And that usually goes to 0. And then I'm like, I was up 300. I can't end the day on 0. And then I end the day red. Stupid over trading. So I know my psychology is what I'm working on for the time being. So just adjust it on the TradeBait account now. So I think we are now at double what we were, 500 P&L. 200% on the day is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm contemplating just taking myself out here, to be honest, just because we're in such little drawdown that we have afforded to us. To give all of this back really sucks. I'm going to use this order block as our stop. Probably looking at about $100 in profit here if it does run back on us, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to be grateful for that. I might take a partial here, best of both worlds. So I'm going to buy one here, which is put 145 on the account. I'm going to leave this here. TP was where we had it initially. Might go a little lower, just above the 400s. 23410 is ideally where we're going to be looking to take the full position off. Now we could hit all the way down here. I'm trying not to be too greedy. Hopefully this will be around 850. But at least we're taking partials now. 145 minimum for the day, plus a little bit, probably sitting at about 200. Super grateful on both accounts and letting the trade play out, letting what we planned come to fruition. Try not to force it. I could take myself out here for the top step account and try run the 750 tomorrow, so halfway there, and just call it. But I think we'll go a little bit more aggressive with the stops because we do have a CB right in here. I have a feeling 830 might give us some silly move to the upside. We come into this pocket and then continue lower. But ideally, we're just looking for straight downward momentum from here on out. So just wait and see. It might have been a good thing that we took that partial. I see we just took out the low that was resting here on the hourly, ran back up pretty steeply. We can see the 5 minute bullish engulfing candle, no wick, no bottom wick either. So we'll just see whether it's a bit of a fake out or whether price does genuinely want to run up a bit more. Stop should be here at the order block, which we did identify on this chart as well. Some of the order block is where we're sitting for both positions. If we reach back up there, more than likely we're going to push a little bit higher. But yeah, again, still a green day regardless. So just let the trade play out. Alright, still here, about an hour later, still trending to the downside. One of those trades where you've just got to let the market do what it wants to do. There's not much more we could have done. This trade, I just realized on the top step I probably could have added a bit more because we have a bit more drawdown to work with. We've traded properly and this is the way that we want to trade once we're live. So yeah, just try not to rush the process. I should take some partials on this top step account. So I'm going to take two here, two partials, 335 on the day. Where was our order block on the 5 minute? It's sitting at about 500 if this comes back to reverse on us, which is unreal. Really can't complain with that. $1,000 to go to get funded. We're looking okay for further downside here. Still expecting majority of this range to be filled. So I don't want to exit too prematurely, especially on the trade of 8, just because we are pretty close to our 850 target anyway. But yeah, just letting the trade do what it needs to do now. Okay, so finished my trade routine as well on the futures desk. Got my tags. These are my tags that I want to trade, put on my trades. So the ones in green, which are obviously positive things, my neutral stuff, so my emotional stay in the middle. Felt emotional because that can be neutral as well. Emotion isn't always a bad thing. Huge volume spikes and things out of my control, and then obviously the negative things that I don't want to be doing. So the only thing that I'm not too happy with is we didn't record the trade immediately, recording this a few hours after we got out of the position. Apart from that, majority are all green, and I'm happy with that. Just waiting on these positions to see if the market wants to run for us. Watching S on the side, we'll put this down to our TP for the day if it wants to run and hit all the way. Really positive on all the accounts so far. So yeah, let the trade do what it wants to do. Okay, we are really starting to motor now to the downside. So we're almost at the 850 mark here on the funded next accounts, which is phenomenal. I'm not liking this reversal candle so far. It is the 15-minute candle, so I gotta chill out a little bit. Seeing all this volume exit out here probably has got me inclined to take majority of the position off here. Yeah, I'm just really not liking how this is forming, but I probably should wait for the 5 minute to finish closing. It's a weird spot for us to just completely reverse, but yeah, I would be expecting us to continue from here, but just be mindful. We've come all the way back up. I'm going to buy one back. We've got 2 micros running here now, so we're just going to run with 2. We're at just over 100% of the account balance so far, so yeah, really not complaining regardless. I'm just being a bit more cautious on this account as obviously the drawdown requirements. Just locking in our profit, nothing wrong with that at all. So I'm going to go back to this 5 minute order block to run all the way. That's fine. We've at least taken majority of our trade off, so I'm happy. But again, I might have been sucked into the lower time frames, so got to be aware of that. Using our M15 for a bit of resistance here. We've got no more civvies resting here, even on a higher time frame. We do have a 4 hour here, but we've just started a new candle. Seems unlikely that we're going to flip this and then go down again. Hopefully we'd have this continuation to the downside. This is what I was saying about not staying at the charts too long. I'm glad we're able to partial. I can't complain. If we had just left it, I'm going to close this out so I don't keep going back to it. If we left the trade, done something else, come back, we might still be moving to the downside. So it is what it is. 7 a.m. is usually a reversal time frame. We've had a lot of volume exit and we're pushing back up here. So I'm going to take myself fully out of the top step account here. Seeing about 800 on the day. And what I'm anticipating is that we're going to continue running up, and then around that 7 o'clock time frame, we're going to do our 15-minute rule and then look to get back in on the short at 7. With the funded next account, with our entry being higher, like we didn't adjust it, I'm happy for price. More than likely, we're not going to take this order block. We could punch up right up into here, but more than likely, this is hopefully going to remain intact. And if we continue spilling to the downside, we're going to let our target take us out. But in this case, if we're still going to push up a little bit, I'm just going to anticipate that 7 o'clock. And if we don't really get it and we just continue flooring, I'm going to lock myself out for today, walk away, with the 812 and call it a day for this account. I think that's phenomenal. So either way, it's a win-win. All right, we have our 7 o'clock candle here. We did not push up as much as I thought. So that's okay. We pushed up and then came straight back down. We're going to stick to the process. We haven't taken this low, so we could find a recovery push up. We're just going to wait and see what the market wants to do in about 10 minutes. Maybe it was for the best. Pushing up here at 7, waiting to see. I'll probably walk away with 500. 200% minimum. If we're climbing up to that amount, we'll just take ourselves out. Potentially look to re-enter maybe. I think maybe we just call it for today. 7 o'clock. We did have that reversal, pushing down literally at, where is 7? 7, this candle here, looking for a push back to the upside. Just waiting for the 15 minutes to mark out our range. More than likely it's going to be around this high. Might push a little bit higher here in this last minute. Potentially, if we zoom out to a higher time frame, this could be the start where we just propel to the upside. We'll just take it as the market shows us. So we've been at the charts for a long time now, almost 12 hours. Part of it, I love the fact that we haven't sat here all day. Got a lot done today. Had a great day with my daughter and did a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I've really liked trading like this. Hopefully, God willing, we can continue. Alright, we've had the 15-minute closure here at 7. We had our first 5-minute closure above. Ideally, our entry would have been here. I like the reaction so far. We're actually going to jump in on a market buy here. Stop loss right here with 5 micros. There's essentially our target here. So we're needing about $700, which would take us to full TP here. I'm just being mindful, we do have this 4-hour CB right here. So we'll just mark that, make this red. We're still in on the short here. If we get up to 500, I'll take myself out, potentially reassess it like 9:30. CB, just watching the M5 here. Probably stick to the M1. Watching how we go. If we can close back above these highs, we'll look to add in an extra 5 and just run this up. We've obviously got VWAP on the way. Just checking at least the 5-minute for the VWAP. So this is probably going to be a bit more accurate for us. We're running with the strategy, running with the plan, and keeping the emotion out of it. We've seen 5-minute closure above the 15-minute range, so wait and see. We might dip before bouncing, so go really tight stops and see how we react if we get down. If we get a closure above, we're adding into the position. I'm liking this engulfing. We are going to look to add, see if we can dip just a little bit lower to have a better entry. Even on a 1 minute, all the bodies are respecting that 15-minute high. It's good to see. Waiting for a tiny more dip. Bang, we got our position. Only $95 of risk. Driving our TP to the 700 mark. Beauty. And seeing if this is enough. The reason I'm looking at flipping long and why I'm okay with that is on the daily chart for ES, last week Friday, we closed pretty much at all-time highs. Could be a tiny move to the downside to take out that liquidity we saw on this hourly level. Now, I don't like that we've closed below this. This would indicate we're probably going to go further, but we see midnight here has still been left untouched, and there's a resting above here. 7 starts our movement up, 8:30 open, we propel up, and 9:30 we get that continuation to the downside, potentially expecting that. We're just going to run with what we have. I like that we're still in this position here, so if it does want to floor, we're fine. We're hedging ourselves either way. We've already had a decent win on the day, so I can afford to go a little more risk on with the top step accounts. I really like that we're rejecting this 15-minute high. Based on that, I'm going to take myself out of this trade 528 on the day is phenomenal. Probably not going to touch this one again until 9:30 if I have the energy to stay up for it. But just based on what we're seeing here, a lot of volume coming out on this candle, which we noticed before. So yeah, I think that's going to propel us a little bit higher. We'll take our profits and then potentially look at reassessing to get back in short or whatever. But this is just what I need to work on, and I'm glad I've done this. I would have just let it run and go, no, we're just coming for a pullback. And then that's when I'm at a position where I'm up 500 and I give all of it back, expecting some pullback that never occurs, and then I'm taking losses. I could be wrong, but we've taken profit. So what are we upset about? The greed factor of, but we could have had more, curb it. It doesn't matter. The fact that we've drawn money today is phenomenal. So yeah, going to keep doing what we're doing. Looks like we're still pushing up, which is good to see. Really need to invert this SIBI on an M5. We've had, 2 taps at this now, 3 taps including this candle that's just formed. So we would need to get above. Yeah, if we're starting to have downward pressure continued here, not going to be ideal. But we'll wait and see. Stick to the process. Still in position, adjusted stops below the 3-minute rule on the 5 minutes. First 5-minute closure, we should be this low here. But there's not enough, even on the 3-minute, a 2-minute, even on a 1-minute, all of this is filled. I wouldn't want us to go further than this point right here. We're probably going to spill even lower if that's the case. If that is, I'm going to take myself out and something on the day, which, that's what I was happy to walk away with from the start. I'm not trying to do what I usually do and give it all back, but there's enough reason for me to believe that we are going to push higher. I've put the same thing on ES, and ES is looking a lot stronger, almost at all-time highs. It makes sense. We could push higher. We're seeing that NQ retracing a bit more. ES not closing underneath the 15-minute lines, even on a 5-minute. So looking really positive for ES here. Looks like we are pushing back up again. I'm going to shift to a lower time frame because I might look at jumping back in on the funded accounts with ES to take us higher. Looking at the volume again on this candle, there hasn't been any volume higher apart from this one at 3, which is interesting. We can see here that this candle on the 5-minute has been the most volume since Friday on the 22nd of August. This candle here is higher than, apart from this one here actually, at open, the very start of the day. So that really gives me indication that we have enough volume here to indicate a reversal potentially. Again, using the 15-minute entry method, that has been confirmed and I guess adhered to as well. So yeah, just waiting for a closure. I don't want to add into any of my positions until I'm in profit. That's another thing that I'm trying to work on as well. There's no point adding it when I'm in the red. Until the market agrees with me, we're not going to be allocating any more capital. We need a closure above as well. No wicks, just mid candle, make sure we close above our entry. So it's looking pretty positive here for the time being. Again, ideally I'd like to get in on ES as opposed to MNQ here, but we will wait and see. Going to enter in on ES as well here. MES, just going to have 5 for our position here. Stops at this low. We're going to adjust stops to this low here as well. It's about 150 we are risking now. Obviously TP. We could probably go a little bit more on this ES trade. I just want to wait for a closure for confirmation really, because if this wants to spill against us, we know. Hang on to our horses. Pushing the 3-minute here. I think we should be okay. Chart is looking nice. We're needing about 300. One mini position. We're just waiting. Looks like we're folding back down, which isn't ideal. Alright, so it might have been a little bit early. Just shifting back to the M5. We still have our spot here. We should take out this low. We have this point of interest, and on ES we had a bit more. Okay, just make this green. Watch how we react if we get down to this region. Another fake out to the upside, potentially come up into here and then spill down lower. But if we close above here, it's confluence, we can take this to the upside. See if we can get a closure above this high. Looking like we're going to get a decent closure above here, so I'm going to move my stops back. We're going to add in another 5 position once we wait for this 5-minute closure on ES. I've already jumped in on the trade for the fund next account. We're going straight for the 1 mini for ES. My main target is going to be London highs, just because everywhere else is filled up until about this point here, above London highs. But then again, because we're near all-time highs, like it would just make more sense that we just blast straight through. But yeah, we will wait and see. But yeah, there's another beautiful part of trading is you can go long and short regardless of what the market's doing, which is cool. No movement here. NQ looks to be the one that's actually taken off. ES still looks to be stagnating a little bit here. Q with a little drop. Q's looking bullish compared to ES. Waiting for this 5-minute closure above here before we can potentially add in. If it's looking too ugly, we'll probably take ourselves out. Down $12.50. Alright, here's the 8 o'clock candle. So pushing down, we've been stopped out on this ES trade here. More than likely we're going to run for this level in here. So I'm okay to get stopped out. We'll have $100 to work with. No dramas. Let's see if we continue melting down. Could be mindful of where we're at for ES. Is this where we bounce back? Or continue spilling lower here? Be a good spot to buy more. I think we did just miss out. Yeah, lots of volume stepping out here. So we're going to get back in. Buying 5 right here. Pretty tight stops. So we're at that 500 mark. This was the 5-minute low. We didn't want to go below. If we take this out, likely we move to the downside here. So let's just wait and see what the market wants to do. VWAP here on a 30-second as well. Pretty good buy spot. Let's jump in as well. We're just going to go for a 2 micro position on MNQ with the anticipation we have found the lows. So I'm going to put my stops here. Nice reaction on the M2. Still spilling a bit lower. This is ideally where I should have been buying for ES. Maybe even a little bit lower. I think our stop might be a bit too tight. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, yeah. So here it's a bit annoying seeing the profit run down as low as it is here, but just trusting the process. Did get in a little bit early on both positions here, but if we are expecting this reversal around this point, it is in line. So yeah, 30-second, if we can close above here, we're going to be looking to add into our position. Don't really want to be seeing us move away from VWAP. It's that 5-minute level here, still pushing lower. Let's see if we hold. Decent reaction. We just came straight back down. Alright, the 5-minute low is about to be taken. Got stopped out on MNQ, ES. See if this long still wants to hold for us. We got stopped out on top step here as well. So I think going by the plan, this is where emotion starts getting in. Let's not give back everything we made today. We could still continue pushing lower. Let's do the right thing. We said that's the plan, so we're going to lock ourselves out here. Come all the way down to 290 here, which is a bit frustrating for how ES play. But we're just going to keep our stops here. If we do want to push higher, ES is stronger than NQ, so if one was to push back up higher, we would be expecting it on ES here, but let's just wait and see. We've closed below this, not ideal. Yeah, crazy amount of volume coming in at 8 here. Yeah, M15 isn't looking too favourable for us here, but we'll let the stop loss do its job. I think we'll be sitting at around sort of 250, hopefully, if that is the case. But if we get to 250 before we get stopped out, we'll just take ourselves out. 100% on the day. Just be happy with that. Just be grateful. 267, 254. We're going to take ourselves out right here. Oops, wrong side. Click the wrong side. A little under 100% of the account gain today. Fine by me. Frustrating, but it is what it is. We had our plan. Locked ourselves out of the top step, which is good. About $1,000 away, which we're really blessed with. Our max loss limit's about 2 now, which is good. And then it's just this funded next account. This is going to do me dirty, isn't it? We're going to bounce right back up, but it is what it is. I think I should take myself off the charts. It's been a long day. Did give it a fair bit of profit back, which is frustrating, but still a green day on all accounts. So 500 on this account, 230 on this account, and about 220 on the futures desk. About $1,000 on the day. Can't complain. See you guys for the next episode tomorrow.